Hello, and welcome to the special CBTV interview with Dennis Williams. Dennis is an investment advisor representative with Brookstone Capital Management who specializes in working with pre-retirees and retirees since 2007. In addition, he is on the board of his local NAFA professional organization, and he serves as contemporary worship leader in the villages. Dennis, welcome back to CBTV.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me back today.
Good to have you here again. Glad you could make time for us. Well, today I want to talk to you about something that everybody's interested in. And we've all heard that in life there's only two guarantees in life, and everyone knows what it is: death and taxes. Now, death is somewhat uncontrollable, but many people are unaware of the fact that they can reduce or even eliminate some types of taxes with proper planning. So what type of taxes do you try and help to reduce or eliminate for your clients?
Well, one of the taxes that we try to reduce is income taxes. Another tax we might try to reduce are capital gains taxes. Third tax might be Social Security taxes. They may be paying taxes on their Social Security income needlessly. And then finally, estate taxes. A lot of people are faced with paying estate taxes, and that's subject to change in the future. It may not be subject to it now, but we might want to look ahead for the future if the laws change.
Well, that's a lot of taxes that could potentially be reduced, and I know every client I've ever had in my lifetime, and I'm sure yours, they're like, hey, I want to pay only the legal amount I owe the IRS. But if I can legally save $1 and put it in my pocket, I'm better off than an extra $1 in the government's pocket. So let's talk about each of these very quickly then, Dennis. You mentioned to start with income taxes. So what are some strategies perhaps that you help your clients to reduce or even eliminate some income taxes in their life?
Sure, Matt. One of the methods we use is they may have assets or income coming in that they're really not using, they're really not spending, it's just money that comes in. So we may try to set that into another location where that can be put off to sometime in the future. Perhaps when they really need that income, then worry about the taxes then. We have several different areas that we can position money to take advantage of that.
So are you talking about maybe a vehicle where it defers the tax until later?
That's correct. We're talking about tax deferral. Exactly.
Okay, all right. So let that money kind of compound and build, and don't lose the interest part, any interest part of it due to taxation. Let all that money compound and build, and then take it out in the future where you'll have a bigger pot because there wasn't taxes taken out throughout the years.
And also they've earned growth on what they would have paid taxes. So it's like triple growth. You're earning the money that you would have had to send in for taxes. You're earning interest on top of interest. So you're really exponentially growing your portfolio by putting it aside and putting those taxes off to the future when you really need the money.
Yeah.
Let it grow and exponentially grow.
And as an investment advisor representative, you can probably help people with maybe some tax-free strategies on tax-free bonds, municipal bonds perhaps. Would that be something that also that you can help folks with? Yes,
in appropriate situations we have actually a portfolio of several different bonds which kind of spreads out the risk, if you will.
Right.
And so we put the money there, and anything that's gained from that is tax-free. People like that.
I don't think I've met an American yet that turns down anything that's tax-free, or at least tax-deferred. So that's good news. All right, now let's talk about ways to reduce or eliminate capital gains. Now, capital gains tax used to be 28%. The now maximum, as long as you keep it a year, is 15%. But with the government under a huge budget crunch, spending more than they're bringing in taxes, we all know that the tax brackets, capital gains brackets, are going to go up in the future. So how can you help your clients to reduce or even maybe eliminate capital gains taxes?
It's all a matter of planning. Planning for those particular funds. When do you need it? It's sitting down with the client, finding out exactly what their needs are, and planning a strategy to how we can stretch those taxes out, or perhaps eliminate them through some other type of products or other type of investment strategies.
Okay, so you do have some effective strategies to, again, reduce or eliminate capital gains taxes?
Yes, we do.
Because there are some folks that bought stocks years and years ago, maybe Microsoft or GE in the beginning years. They've had it for 50, 60 years, and now they might need that money. They don't want to necessarily pass those stocks on to heirs, but they have normally a pretty big capital gains tax bill, so you can help them there.
Yes.
Okay.
Just recently, I had a client who, unfortunately, his wife passed away, and he was totally unaware that he could take advantage, in a sense, that he could take the step up in basis because their stocks were owned jointly.
Right.
So he was not aware. His advisor that he was working with did not explain to him that half of those funds he would be able to take the step up in basis and therefore save the growth on those money. So I was able to help him through that situation in a very difficult time, but that at least brought some help.
Some good news.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of folks don't know if you own an asset together as husband and wife, as an example, and that asset appreciates, whether it's real estate, home, stocks, mutual funds, bonds, whatever, that if one passes away, their half of the gain is they get a fully, as you said, stepped up valuation so that the surviving spouse could sell that and only pay really a tax on the half of the gain, not the full gain.
Correct.
Okay, good strategies there. Now, let's talk about a tax that most retirees absolutely hate to pay, and that's Social Security taxation. I know we have all heard that when Franklin D. Roosevelt set up Social Security in the system back in 1935, gave a great big promise to that generation that as they put money into it every week, when they retired, they would have a monthly check coming to them and they'd never have to pay taxes on that money. Well, in 1983, Congress changed that, and then 1993, President Clinton and Congress changed it a little higher. So now up to 85% of your Social Security income could be put in a pool to be taxed. And so most retirees, as I'm sure you know, Dennis, hate having, they consider it being double taxed. Paid income taxes all your life, now you're going to pay taxes on Social Security. So how you do have some strategies, I should say, on how to reduce or eliminate tax on Social Security. Is that right?
That is right. We have several strategies. One of the things in the planning process is looking at the individual's entire financial situation. I'll ask them to bring in their tax returns from the previous years. And we'll go through that. We'll analyze that. We'll look for ways of monies coming in that they're not using. Let me just give you an example.
Okay.
One of the safest investments out there, and people love because it has FDIC on it. And they have money in these CDs, and they're wonderful vehicles. They're safe, they're protected, and they love to put money there. It may not be making a whole lot right now, but they know their money's safe, and that's good. But they're making that little bit of interest, but they're also having to pay tax on that.
Right.
And I've actually sat down with people that's getting a lot of money coming in from the CDs, or they're having to take their interest from their investments, and don't really need it. They're not spending it.
Right.
So we're able to take and reposition those dollars into another vehicle, depending on the situation as to what that vehicle is, and we can actually eliminate those interests on their tax returns. And again, we're deferring the taxes, we're deferring that growth so that we're growing and earning on our growth, and we're earning on those taxes that we would have paid. And down the road, when they need those funds, they'll be there.
Well, that's a great strategy to either eliminate or reduce, or at least defer the tax on Social Security. So you can help people reduce income taxes as well as Social Security at the same time? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's exactly right.
Wow.
We look at the whole picture, we look at their tax returns, and we help them analyze that and determine where are some areas here that we can make some adjustments.
Yeah.
You know, what are you using these funds for? Are you using these funds? And if not, is there somewhere better that would fit you better? You know, some people are concerned about access. And so, well, we can still do that. We can still maintain that access, but at the same time, either put off those taxes forever or put those taxes off to sometime in the future.
Well, it's good to know at least that there are some effective strategies that can help reduce or eliminate taxes. And there are, as we talked about, a bunch of them. The last one is the estate tax, and that's another tax that many Americans get very upset about because they paid income taxes and sales taxes and property taxes, and then if your estate's big enough, Uncle Sam wants up to like about a half of the value of the estate. Now we have an estate tax exemption right now of, what is it, 3.5 million or 5 million? What is it today? Do you know?
It's currently $5 million.
$5 million, okay. But it used to be a few years ago just $1 million.
That's right. It was $1 million, then it was $2 million, then $3 million. It keeps changing.
That's kind of like the government. They change their mind quite often, right?
That's
Change
exactly
the rules.
right.
So with the government being in such a tight financial situation, there's maybe a high probability that the estate tax exemption might be reduced back down to $1 million or so. Whatever it is, whether somebody dies with $10,000 or $10 million or $100 million, they really want all their money to go to their heirs or their charities of choice. So do you have some strategies to help reduce or eliminate estate taxes for folks?
We do have some strategies. It takes some planning to do that. If you have a couple, you actually have $10 million, because it's $5 million each, that you can prepare in a way or plan in a way where they could take advantage of that. And we sit down sometimes with some attorneys that we know in the area to help put this plan together so that it is going to work. We don't have to be surprised when the death event comes along. We're not surprised. We'll make sure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. But there are strategies. There's some revocable or irrevocable type insurance products that we could put them in to expand that amount. And then, again, we talked about it's changing. It's constantly changing. So this is something I talk about with my clients every year when we get together. Is, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but if this was to happen, then maybe we could do this. We kind of talk about it so it doesn't catch us by surprise when it is changed down the road.
Well, what's the old saying, Dennis? There's nothing in life so consistent as change.
That's correct.
And with the government, things are always changing. That's why the tax code keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, it's good to know that there are some effective strategies, as you mentioned, on how to reduce income taxes, capital gains taxes, estate taxes, and Social Security taxes. So I'm sure many of our viewers would want to find out from you personally on how they can perhaps reduce some of those taxes. So Dennis, again, thanks for coming and allowing us to interview you on CBTV.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure.
For more information about Dennis Williams or his financial services practice, contact him at 352-245-6493 or visit him on the web at www.williamsuncoast.com.